Welcome, Climate Viewers. It's Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News. It's Monday, April 25th, 2022, and Elon Musk is prepared to buy Twitter. It looks like they're going to cave. He wants to defeat the spam bots and authenticate all real humans. We're going to talk about the ramifications of these changes. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And I'd like to know in the comments, what do you think about authenticating all real humans? And how much do you hate spam bots? Have you dealt with sock puppets? Well, the word for today is sock puppet, and we're going to get into all that in just a brief moment. If you're watching this anywhere else, because my videos are free of charge and downloadable, please mirror this video. I'm shadow banned, have been for the better part of 5-6 years. Come over to YouTube and type in ClimateViewer and hit that subscribe button. And come to connect.climateviewer.com to find all my things, connect to the things, and subscribe to the things. So what are we talking about here? Exclusive. This is posted this morning, April 25th. At 8 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock a.m. Exclusive. Twitter set to accept Musk's $43 billion offer. And you know, I won't bore you with the technical details of how all this goes. Screw Twitter, it's AIDS. Short buzz. I couldn't have said it better. But you know, at the same time, you got to go where the people are. If you really want to get your message out there, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, that's where all the NPCs are. And in order to, you know, wake the masses, as they like to say, you got to go where the people are. So what the heck is a sock puppet? And we're going to get into Elon's tweet, and it goes right to this, you know, referring to, you know, all these spam bots. What's a bot? You know, it's a robot. Vincent, you my man, I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much, brother, man. Thanks for the super chat. Love you, dude. Sock puppets. You know, kind of like the little sock you'd put on your hand and then it says what you want it to say. Sock puppets, a false identity adopted by trolls and other malcontents to support their own postings. And an example from Urban Dictionary, she brought in 6 friends to back up her story, but 5 of them turned out to be sock puppets or fake accounts. So what are we talking about with fake accounts? Well, you know, Elon Musk tweeted out on April 21st, that if our Twitter bid succeeds, we will defeat the spam bots or die trying. And there was much rejoicing. Me especially, you know, like what we've seen time and time again is basically that you have this situation where all of these corporations, they see floods and floods of tweets from people they assume are real. And then they react to it by doing dumb things. You know, the saying is go woke, go broke. And of course, people pushing these woke agendas typically use fake accounts or sock puppets or bots, bot armies. And that's a great way of getting propaganda out there and being able to give the perception that there is a large audience, hundreds of thousands of people who don't like a policy in order to enact change. What do we do when all of these accounts are literally controlled by one individual? And that's what Elon's talking about here. And that's why it's such a big deal to defeat the spam bot army. However, right underneath it, he says, and authenticate all real humans. And I think there's a healthy discussion to be had about that. You know, the idea that we would authenticate all real humans. I mean, so what? Am I supposed to now give my driver's license to freaking Twitter? Well, I don't want to do that because any database on the internet, if it has not already been hacked, will be hacked. And then what are the ramifications of that? Furthermore, people should be able to remain anonymous. The most recent example I can think of is there is a Twitter account called Libs of TikTok that was doxxed by an individual, and they just, didn't like the fact that they were literally taking some of these really crazy woke TikToks and not editing them, not changing anything, and just posting their stuff. Here's what these crazy people are saying. Jeff, I would definitely love to come on your podcast. Hit me up, jim@climateviewer.com. We'll make a date, brother, man. Shadow Band Podcast, shout out right there. We'll check that out. I was just on Weaponized News. I did an interview with them last Wednesday. So guys, check out Weaponized News as well. You'll see that interview was pretty funny to say the least. But the idea that you would authenticate all real humans kind of sounds scary to me. Now, I don't agree with everything that Elon Musk has to say. I don't agree with that everything anybody has to say. His whole transhumanism agenda, neural net and all of that, coming from the hacker world. I mean, you telling me I can hack your brain? Go ahead and put an implant in there that not only allows you to send signals, but receive signals. And I promise you, there will be hundreds of thousands of defense contractors, corporate entities, and just individuals who will be trying to figure out day one, before it's even a thing, how to hack your brain. So the transhumanist agenda, I'm not so cool with, directly linking my brain to the freaking internet. But, if I can get some cybernetic arms and legs and eyeballs, I'm all for it. I'm going to be the most robot person you ever met, ever. When I'm, 70 years old, I want to be able to bench press a car and bite through a piece of steel with my fake teeth. All that's great. I'm cool with that. But authenticating all real humans has a kind of scary Orwellian tone to it, because it means that there is no possibility of remaining anonymous and posting. So there has to be a healthy balance there. So we're gonna leave that discussion for another time, but I want to just put that out as a precursor to all this, because what do they mean by bot farms? What is a bot farm? Well, you're looking at one right here. So this is literally a whole bunch of cell phones, iPhones, Androids, all connected to a network, all sharing different posts, automated. Okay? Just an example. This is a smaller setup. They get much larger. But if you look at bot farms, you'll see things, ranging from, a whole bunch of small cell phones to literally this right here with thousands of PlayStation 4s being used as a FIFA Ultimate Team bot farm seized by Ukrainian police. Now, this is in video games. I mean, bot farming is a thing. It is across every genre, from public perception management, propaganda, to mining, gold in a MMO video game to sell it. Bots are constantly used for so many different purposes. But for the political purposes, that's where it really gets nefarious, because they're trying to create the perception that there are hundreds of thousands of people that believe a thing to change your mind. The whole, group mentality, group think, hive mind ideology behind it is creepy AF. So I was looking into this a little bit more, and what you see here is inside a Facebook bot farm that pumps out 200,000 political posts per month. Comparatech Research has accessed an unsecured Facebook bot farm that was used to control nearly 14,000 fake accounts. Here's what we found. Links in the details. You should read it. Pretty interesting stuff. And when you look through it, what you see is, that Facebook only blocked 1 in 10 of the farm bots accounts at time of publishing. And these are what the accounts, look, pardoning Snowden would backfire on Trump February 1st, things like that. A step in the right direction for correcting some of the problems with broken Windows policy. Your typical stuff. So what were they posting about? 50% politics, 17% the C word, 22% other, 11% news. Trump was the most used keyword in bot posts, followed by Biden. I mean, keeping up that Hegelian dialect, that left-right paradigm, keeping everybody fighting. It's good for corporations, it's good for governments, it's good for politicians. Good for everybody. So, when he says, we'll defeat the spam bots or die trying, I'm all for that. When it comes to the death of anonymity, I am vehemently against that. So this is a really nuanced situation, occurring with Elon. And, I think that the guy's got a big brain. I don't think that, he has considered all the ramifications. And we're going to have to, this is an unfolding event, and we'll keep track of how everything goes. But basically, this bot farm was running, an open source software. And you can see that basically most of these Facebook accounts are at mail.ru, which is Russia. So lots of accounts, created with mail.russia, email addresses, all the passwords here, and using, basically temporary phone numbers that were generated, VoIP numbers, fake numbers, all that sort of stuff to create these accounts. And they can automate all of this. Selenium used to imitate human input. And it shows right here, how the bot, a key tool for the bot farm to imitate human behavior is called Selenium. And they show right here, this is some JSON markup, from the script that was used to register a Facebook account. And they just basically plop this stuff in. I do something similar, with, my ClimateViewer news. Whenever I create my website, I actually go through and create posts. And, they look surprisingly similar. And, I'm in the wrong category here. Hold on a second. Content 2019, boom. Chinese massive farming. And I mean, this is what the code looks like. It's pretty much a similar kind of deal. Where you've got yet another markup language. And you just type the stuff in, and then you write scripts to automate the whole process. And what they're using is something called Selenium. Automate browsers. That's it. What you do with that power is entirely up to you. And of course, a lot of people are using that as a weapon. You can build a house with a hammer, or you can crack a skull. These are tools, and tools can be used many different ways. So that's where we're at with that. But in the past, the New World Order technocratic state and the surveillance state has used these sock puppets, these bot armies, to attack journalists, to attack WikiLeaks, to attack the idea of, you shouldn't even look at this sort of thing. And we should, punish those who go outside of what the government wants people to believe. It's about mind control. That's what sock puppet armies typically are used for. And an example of that, you can come down here and scroll through the 5 eyes, the 14 eyes, and you'll see right here the NSA Stone Ghost Network versus WikiLeaks. U.S. defense contractors hired to use cyber warfare and social media sock puppets to sway public opinion against WikiLeaks, discredit journalists and activists. Basically Barrico Technologies, Palantir Technologies, and HBGary Federal to create fake Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube accounts to post online as if they were real people and influence your opinion. Reference 10, 11, 12, and 13. And you can scroll down here and you can see I've got my references, all of which have been deleted from the internet since the last time I put this up. I originally obviously put this up around 2012 because, as you can see, these have been deleted from the internet. This one's still up. HBGary Federal's nemesis is a 16-year-old schoolgirl from Anonymous, the famous hacktivist community. This 16-year-old girl, basically HBGary shot their mouth off. They said they were going to dox the Anons, and the Anons were like, oh, really? You may be a defense contractor, but you're about to learn today. F around and learn. So they hacked HBGary, and they dumped their entire database online. And this is when we learned about deleted article. I'm on the Wayback Machine. I back up everything, and this is my original backup from October 30th, 2012. Official HBGary Federal Sock Sorter. This is not new. This is not new. This has been going on a very long time. This has been going on long before 2011 when this was posted. February 18th, 2011. The idea that some curious bits from HBGary Federal leaked emails. Basically, the idea was to build some sort of sock puppet management system. Geez, no wonder the programmer said this guy's a loony. The first warning sign is the grandiose plan for sock puppet management involves a bunch of USB drive switching and all of this stuff. And they try to downplay it even in this, kiddie stuff. Oh, this is just kiddie stuff. But then if you actually look at what the 16-year-old girl from Anonymous leaked, we get an official Palantir presentation. And I put this up on Scribd many moons ago because I didn't want it to get deleted. WikiLeaks was launched in 2006 by self-described Chinese dissidents and interested parties from 5 continents. Within a year of its launch, WikiLeaks claimed to possess over 1.2 million documents from 13 countries. Employees and volunteers are spread across the world with their identities largely unknown. But then they go on to have slides to dox all the individuals. And then you can see right here, this is a mapping program that, basically this is Palantir's version of it. The open source version of the hacker world, available in Kali Linux, is called Maltego. I actually used Maltego whenever I was being harassed by 5 major YouTubers for a year and a half that were threatening my family and contacting my local job. And I went and I took each individual and every single sock puppet account they have and their home addresses, their family members. You wouldn't believe the kind of information you can gather off the internet and then chart out so that you can see how big an organization is. And one of the individuals literally owned 999 YouTube accounts by himself. That was a task to map out. So as you can see here, they've mapped out the main culprits in the WikiLeaks arsenal. And in there, you'll see Julian Assange and journalist Glenn Greenwald. These down here is American citizens, okay? And the concerning part about this is you're looking at a slide that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the federal government and defense contractors use sock puppets and bot armies to discredit, to attack, and smear American citizens and a journalist, Glenn Greenwald. If you don't know who Glenn Greenwald is, look him up. He's amazing. He's phenomenal. He's always been up these guys' butts from day one. And he was covering WikiLeaks and just telling the facts about the situation when the original Bradley / Chelsea Manning dump occurred. And this was their response, was to Glenn was critical in the Amazon to OVH translation. So they're specifically calling out Glenn Greenwald right here. And they talk about, how they want to, end this uncensorable system for untraceable mass document leaking. And then target, Glenn Greenwald and everybody involved. And I mean, what a dope ass server farm. Look at that. It's in the side of a mountain underground. This is where they store their files. Ooh, this is spy movie stuff. It's great. Anyway, so what truth of this is there? Well, another deleted from the internet. It's in my references. You can see it right here. Right here, number 13. Blow that up nice and big. Media.washingtonpost.com. Personal software 0302 PDF. Persona management software from the U.S. Air Force Air Mobility Command. Now, riddle me this. Why would the United States Air Force want persona management software? And what does it say in there? Online persona management service, 50 user license, 10 personas per user. Software will allow 10 personas per user, replete with background, history, supporting details, and cyber presences that are technically, culturally, and geographically consistent. That means fake accounts on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube that look real, that have a history to them, that all of it lines up nice and neat and it looks like a real person. Individual applications will enable an operator to exercise a number of different online persons from the same workstation without fear of being discovered by sophisticated adversaries. Personas must be able to appear to originate in nearly any part of the world and can interact through conventional online services and social media platforms. The service includes the user-friendly application environment to maximize the user's situational awareness by displaying real-time location information. Number 2, secure virtual private network. Each VPN provides the ability for users to daily and automatically obtain randomly selected IP addresses through which they can access the internet. The daily rotation of the user IP address prevents compromise during observation or likely targeted website services while hiding the existence of the operation. In addition, may provide traffic mixing, blending of users' traffic and traffic from multitudes of users from outside organization. This traffic blending provides excellent cover and powerful deniability. Anonymizer, enterprise, chameleon, or equal. Static IP address management, 50 each. And anyway, they go on into that. And then virtual private servers, VPSs in the CONUS and outside the CONUS. So having servers set up to also automate this process. I'll refer back to what this guy's, these people have going on, thousands of iPhones now doing this, hey, the business of bot farming has really evolved since back then. But I actually played a video game with a guy who worked for the NSA. Just a little backstory. And this guy told me that he had 6 monitors set up and he had an eyepiece, and that he could literally look left or look right and the monitor in front of him would change to a different PC, so that he could actually manage 6 PCs at once. And as silly as this sounds, we were playing EverQuest 2 online, and he had an entire group of 6 characters that he could control by himself. So he was his own one-man army. And that's what he did for his hobby in the evening. What he did the rest of the day, I don't want to speculate about that. But, you know, they had this back in 2001. And I can only imagine the kinds of stuff that they have nowadays. But this is an actual, you know, from federalbusinessopportunities.gov, you know, a contract for the, you know, a bot army, a persona management software. And of course, deleted from the internet. It may still be live on the original page. I haven't even checked, but this was the original shared from Washington Post. Washington Post has taken that down because they don't want anybody to talk about that today. But they mentioned Anonymizer Chameleon, and I looked into it, and it turns out it's, you know, it's largely Russian. And they go into here. Here's how to use Anonymizer Chameleon with Tor, with the Tor browser, the Onion network. You know, how to actually keep yourself private while doing all of this stuff, you know, because if you're going to run bots, you're going to need a VPN, just like they said in the other one. And that this is actually Anonymizer Chameleon. It's camelio.xyz. Did not put the freaking link in the details because, you know, YouTube would jump on that faster than a pig and shit. So I'm going to just not leave that in there, but camelio.xyz is the thing. And Tor browser, if you haven't heard of it, it's at torproject.org. It's another way to browse the internet without being tracked. You basically fire up the Tor browser, you go through an encrypted network. Issues with Tor, people can actually own the exit and entrance nodes to Tor network. This was even the only time I've ever seen it actually mentioned in like a TV show or movies, and Mr. Robot was pretty freaking epic that he's like, you know, you thought you were anonymous while you were doing all that pedophile, you know, shit you were up to, but I actually own the exit node that you were using. And I was like, oh yeah, somebody who knows what they're talking about. But that's pretty epic. So Tor is one of the encrypted networks you can use. The other one being I2P. These are the two largest. The Invisible Internet Project. You can see it right there. The Invisible Internet Project, I2P. So you can use these in combination with a VPN, a virtual private network, to pretty much guarantee that just about anybody's not going to be able to find you. So what I would suggest to you, the common individual who can't, you know, do all of these things, do yourself a favor and get EXPRESSVPN, because everybody is out there looking at your content. They're looking for you, and they can identify you by your IP address. Your IP address is like your physical phone number for your internet connection, for your computer, for your house. And furthermore, whenever you're logging into these websites like Twitter, like Facebook and all of that, sometimes that information is not fully encrypted, which means that anybody listening to your network connection can listen to the things you're typing. They can get your passwords for your bank accounts, all of that sort of thing. And especially if you're like on vacation or you're using a public Wi-Fi, like say in a hotel or in a McDonald's or wherever, it's almost guaranteed that that information flowing across the network is not encrypted. With expressvpn.com/climateviewer, you can get a year subscription to ExpressVPN and 3 months free with my code expressvpn.com/climateviewer. And this will help encrypt your network. And why does it matter? Because, ExpressVPN, top of the line, we keep no activity or connection logs whatsoever. So even if the government tries to say, hey, ExpressVPN, I want to know what, John Otter was looking up last night. Quest for Truth Bear, was doing some shady stuff last night. Can we, tell us what they were on a VPN, so we couldn't read the encrypted data? Will you tell us? Well, ExpressVPN says, we don't even save that. We don't even have log files. No, we didn't track it. You want to believe that they're legit? Well, how do they protect your privacy? They can mask your location online. They block your original IP address. They replace it with an IP address of your choice from anywhere in the world. Increases your security by encrypting everything, and from Wi-Fi networks to protecting you from man-in-the-middle attacks. And this is where it really gets interesting. It's fully encrypted. You can even pay anonymously. You can pay with Bitcoin via BitPay, and the only information you need to provide is an email address, so you never need to reveal your identity. Now, if that doesn't sell you on the fact that ExpressVPN is super legit, you can see right here, just ignore my background, what says weapon of mass distribution. And just focus your eyes over here on this. This is what ExpressVPN looks like right here. And you can see that on the Atlanta servers, I'm literally getting a 10 millisecond latency at 86 megabits per second. That is extremely fast for a VPN. 10 milliseconds latency. And the interface for ExpressVPN is so simple. It is literally one button. So Atlanta's my fastest connection. I just click this button right here and I'm immediately encrypted. And whenever I go to a forum and I want to go post a bunch of stuff and I don't want some asshole, posting my public IP address so that other people can harass me, I get on my VPN. Whenever I'm browsing these government websites and looking for, content like, we've been talking about today, looking at defense contractor files or reading, the latest hack, things like that, I'm on my VPN because I don't want people to track it back to my computer. And God forbid, in a lot of cases, these websites that share this information are tracking you. They are what's called a honeypot. Google the word honeypot. The idea that, we basically draw you in so that we can find the people like, QAnons. We're going to, the latest QAnon, post is here. And as you come, we're not talking about 4chan, but, as you come to the website to read this, clickbait title, you're being tracked by, on average websites, I've seen anywhere from like 30 to, in one extreme example, 198 different website cookies and programs running to track, your activity on there. So protect your privacy online. We're going to see where this whole, Elon Musk thing goes. Killing bot armies, troll armies. We didn't even get into zombie nets and how people can hack your PC and take full control of it. And then people rent your PC out by the hour. So if you're experiencing really slow internet, it's a possibility that somebody's already violated your PC and they have full control over it. And then they can use your PC as part of a bot farm. These are called zombie nets, and they're, we're talking millions of PCs. that are infected that can be run by a single, command and control center, where somebody logs into a virtual private server and at the touch of a button, they can say, hey, let's take out, RT.com like Anonymous does. We're going to DDoS, distributed denial of service, RT.com off the internet. And then they go and take control of, 1 million PCs simultaneously, using all of the bandwidth from each of their households to knock a website off the internet. Cyber warfare is real. Information warfare is more real. And it is mind control. So to the idea of Elon Musk, fighting mind control and perception management and troll armies, I say a bravo. To the idea of authenticating all real users, I think heart probably in the right place, not thinking about the full ramifications of it, and will remain to be seen where we go from there. But that being said, guys, I really appreciate everybody who watched this video. Please, download this video if you like. Post it somewhere else. I don't care. You're just, getting the message out there. And I appreciate that. Everybody who wants to support me can do so on connect.climateviewer.com. Connect to all my things. I greatly appreciate that. And we'll continue these daily updates, from here on out. Today is Misinformation / Monitoring Monday. Tomorrow will be Tuesday News Day, and we're going to get into the latest climate engineering and weather modification news. I hope to do Worldwide Wednesdays, where we talk about, maps and things going on a worldwide basis. And following up with Throwback Thursday, where we do some history from good old weathermodificationhistory.com. And you can check me out Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, where I intend to do the live chat, where we just hang out with people. You can call into the show, ask me anything, and we'll get into that sort of thing then. I hope to make the Sunday chat as user-friendly as possible and as, participatory as possible. So, my Google Voice number will be up on the screen. You will be free to call in, and that will be Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you check in for that, and expect a video Monday through Thursday. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. So, sock puppets can be powerful, but information is more powerful. And I hope that you use this information to attack ideas, not people. Love you, mean it. If the video resonates with you, leave me a comment, because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Yeah! Remember, it would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people.